To determine if this cheese is worth your dough, we're going to judge it based on its appearance, its day one taste, its value. Take a slice and stick it in the fridge. Come back on day 3 for the reheat. We'll take all 4 scores, add them together, divide them by 4, and then we'll know the cheesy score. Welcome back once again to Cheesy Dan Reviews. As always, I'm Cheesy Dan. Today, up on the plate, we have Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Cheese Pizza. Now, Little Caesars is known for being a pretty good value. When you add stuffed crust, the price tends to go up quite a bit with most of the pizzas. So, is this cheese worth your dough? Stick around, let's find out. Well, let's open up the box and see what we got. Well, look at that. So we have a stuffed crust cheese pizza. Now, originally, when I used to get these, they didn't have the Parmesan along the crust here, but that is something that they do pretty standard now. So you do have the Parmesan along the crust. You can see a little bit of the extra thickness because there's cheese in the crust. There are a few spots, just a little bit here where cheese was missed. This is kind of a spot where I guess there was a little bit of cheese, possibly even the sauce was missed. You come over here, a little bit of extra sauce. Overall, still appetizing looking pizza, but I will say not the best one I've seen cooked. A little bit less cooked here, a little bit more cooked on this side. I'm gonna say for a day one appearance, I would put this one probably at a 6.5. Not bad, good looking pizza as far as, wanting to taste it, but could definitely have a little improvement. Now, as far as picking a slice, let's see, I'm gonna go with this one over here. Let me know in the comments if this is the one that you chose as well. Now, look at the back here and the side. Of course, you can get a good view of the stuffed crust there. It's got a good amount of cheese on it. Tiny bit of orange to it, not much. The smell, good smell to it. Now, when I address the value on this one has a price of $11.99. However, I was able to find a online coupon that reduced it, but looking at it on a normal price of $11.99, if you compare this to some of the other stuffed crust large cheese pizza out there, it is a very affordable option, albeit, maybe not the higher end as far as some of the pizza places go, but the value is definitely there, and that's really something that Little Caesars nails. So as far as a value score, I would put this at a 9 because I still don't know of a better value when it comes to a cheese pizza as far as, takeout, fast food style. Now, the only thing we got left is we got to taste it. So let's do that. Exactly what you would expect as far as flavor from a normal, I guess, Little Caesars Extra Most Best. But let's try the crust. The crust is good. I do like the cheese that they use. You can definitely get a good view of it there. I noticed too a little hint of a garlic spray on it. Now, I've not been historically a big fan of garlic, but if it's super light, I don't mind it. I just don't like a heavy use of it. I know historically, like Pizza Hut used to do super heavy when they did their garlic spread. I mean, it was like glistening with garlic and dripping with it. I don't feel like they did it that bad on this one, so I can handle that. So for a day one taste, this one is good, albeit I feel like the sauce wasn't as evenly spread on this one. I would say on a day one taste, I'm gonna put this one at a 7. It is a enjoyable pizza, but with there being a little too much sauce in that first bite, whereas I could see in some of the others it wasn't spread out quite as well. The garlic on there, not a huge fan of that. I just wasn't aware of that when I ordered it. Seems like it's almost a little too cooked on the top. The bottom of it clearly is not. The bottom is cooked just fine. Just could have been a little bit better. That's all I have to say. But at this stage, then what we have to do, now that we've tasted it, we need to pick a slice for our day 3. So looking at it here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which slice do you think I'm gonna pick for our day 3 reheat review? And we'll come back on day 3 and see if you got it right.
3 days later.
Well, now that we've got it out of the fridge, let's see what it looks like a couple days later. Well, here we are on day 3 looking at this one, and there is a little bit of oranging, not too bad. Right here you can still see the Parmesan sticking with it, and the crust itself does pretty much looks like it did on day 1. It even smells good. So what's left to do is heat it up and let's give it its day 3 taste test. Now that it's heated up, let's give it that taste. All right, before we take that bite, get a chance to see it a little bit better after it's been heated up. The Parmesan that was on the crust, it kind of melted, so it's not really visible anymore. But the smell still got a good smell to it. And I guess the best thing to do, is to mention what slice number I picked. On day 1, I gave you a chance to pick which slice I was going to save for day 3. If you pick slice 6, you got it right. That's the slice I picked. So let's give it that taste. Let's go ahead and taste that crust too. So for day 3, definitely a little bit of aging on the sauce, which does give that as a normal, honestly. The only thing kind of surprised me a little bit is actually the stuffed crust. The cheese in the stuffed crust has a little bit of an aged taste to it, which is a little strange. I'm not used to that being the case. Not sure quite what that factor is, but I can definitely still taste a little bit of that garlic spread that was on there as well. But yeah, a little bit weird. I didn't expect that in this case. But with that said, overall, not a bad taste. I wouldn't mind eating a couple slices on day 3, especially if you're hungry and they're still in the fridge. You could throw them and heat them up real quick. Definitely not something that you'd want to avoid. So on day 1, I was able to give this one a day 1 taste test of a 7. Now for day 3, I think with just a little bit of loss of taste there on the stuffed crust and then also in the sauce itself, I'm going to put this one at a 6. So that means with a day 3 of a 6, that's going to put us at a cheesy score of 7.125. Pretty good finish for an inexpensive pizza. In fact, that puts this pizza ranked number 9 on the Cheesy Dan pie scale. And with my pie chart looking at it now, that means it barely beat out the Walmart Market Side 5 cheese and fell just below the Red Baron cheese trio. So good showing for the Little Caesars. It did come in a little bit lower than just the standard extra most best. But overall, if you like stuffed crust cheese, it's definitely worth considering, especially considering the price is as fair as it is. But in that case, my question to you is then, have you had this pizza before? What do you think about it? Did you have a good experience? Do you think it was worth your dough? Or do you think it's probably better off saving up money for a nicer, more expensive pizza, like maybe a Papa John's stuffed crust or something else? Put that in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on the Little Caesars brand pizzas are. But I guess at this point, the only thing left to do is to let you know until we eat again, stay cheesy.